just hopefully get what you need out of tonight's practice. Lovely. So we'll come over to our mat. Let me just... I've had to go up onto 2 cushions now because they're getting so flat. So yeah, I'm going to have to rethink my whole cushion setup here at home. So coming to your seated position on your mat, just initially starting with the hands over the knees. So just coming into your comfortable Sukhasana, whether that's the full lotus, half lotus, or just cross-legged, whatever is good for you. And just begin by having that connection, having that kind of touch, that warmth of the hands over the knees. And just taking a couple of deep breaths just to steady yourself. So just to, before closing your eyes, just coming into your body. Couple of nice deep breaths, just noticing how the breath is flowing through the body. So this evening we're going to work through the heart chakra, the heart meridian lines, and really open up the heart. We're going to be looking at acceptance this week, so acceptance of ourselves, really important, also acceptance of others. And in order to do that, we obviously need to approach our practice, our life, with this open heart. So really nice to bring in some open heart movements into our practice this evening. So to start with, we come to our mudra. So our mudra, our hand gesture for this evening, will be to, if you take your palms out in front of you and bring your ring finger and your index finger in towards your thumb. So you just have your little finger and your your middle finger and index finger. So you just have your index finger out and your little finger out, sorry. And then you tuck your index finger into the bottom of your tongue. Tongue. It's an excellent start. So we come to sort of almost like a snail on a wall type of shadow. And this is our Hadreya Mudra. And this is all about stimulating the heart. So once you've reached that, as I say, middle finger, ring finger onto the thumb, then tucking the index finger in, leaving the little finger out. And then bring that to the knees. So allow that to rest on the knees, fingers facing upwards. So drawing into that energy. And when you feel comfortable, just rolling the shoulders back and down, open up that heart space, straighten up that spine. And then begin to close the eyes. So again, drawing back into that breath, but also noticing this slight difference through the movement of the hand, the connection of the fingertips. Inhaling and exhaling. So mudras stimulate different parts of the body, the emotions, the mind. And the Hadreya Mudra looks at diverting the prana, the energy, from the hands to the heart space. So it's by diverting, by bringing that prana and energy up from the arms to the heart space, remembering that lovely heart meridian line that runs from the heart space down the arms. So that's opening, beginning to open, beginning to get that communication from the hands to the heart. Opening up the heart space, inhaling and exhaling. And this improves not only the physical connection with the heart, improving the vitality through to the heart, but it also helps to release tension and, more importantly, burdens. And burdens that we hold often stem from the heart. So by bringing this hand mudra, this gesture, into our yoga practice, it allows that connection through from the fingertips, through the arms to the heart space, relieving tension and burdens, allowing for vitality to flow towards the heart, and diverting the energy from the hands all the way up to the heart. Using your breath to feel that channel of energy, to feel that open heart space. Using the breath, slowing the breath down as you need to. Allowing for the breath to push all the way down through to the abdomen. Allowing the abdomen to expand. Don't hold on. And as you exhale, release any tension out of the body. A couple more breaths here. Just allow for that grounding, connection, awareness and openness. When you feel ready, beginning to blink the eyes open, drawing back into the room. You can release the hands from the mudra. You can move and wiggle the fingers around. Because we don't tend to use mudras that much in our daily lives, often that movement through the hands can bring in some need of release as well. So just allowing for that to release through. So we're starting our practice this evening with a heart opening. And we're going to come back to the heart opening at the end of the class. So hopefully, working through the asanas and postures, we can then do a slight comparison between how we feel at the beginning in this posture and how we feel at the end. So if you release the props, cushions from underneath you, what we want to do is allow them to come in to the base. You can split them so they come through the back. And then we're going to draw ourselves down onto the cushions. Head can come off the cushions to allow for that opening through the throat. And then you can straighten the legs out away from you. Or if you want to include a hip opener with this as well, you can bring the soles of the feet together and bend the knees. So the shoulders fall off the side of the cushion and open up the heart space, revealing that heart space. And as I say, if you want to open up the hips at the same time, keeping that balance through the body, you can. If the hips are feeling tight, by all means, straighten the legs out the way. So closing the eyes here. Again, remembering the vulnerability of this posture. So allow yourself to take note of how the body feels. Any tightness through the body, tightness through the hips, or any holding on or tightness almost through the heart space. So take note as you draw the breath through the body. Push it down through heart space, abdomen, hips, those main areas where we really feel and hold on to emotional tensions. Allow those areas to release with each exhale. Softening through the muscles in the body, releasing muscles from the head, through the face, through the neck, heart space and arms. Releasing muscle tension through the core, the hips, the legs, knees and feet. Releasing away the tension to open up the body and open up the heart space in order to start our practice open and revealed. Looking at acceptance, accepting that our body will feel different in one posture to another. Accepting that some postures we'll find easier, some postures we will struggle more with. Accepting that every body is different and every person is different. Forgiving ourselves, allowing ourselves to be accepted. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling the grounding through the back of the body, back of the head, the spine, back of the hips. Feeling that connection and grounding through the feet. Keeping that flow of energy within the body as it draws down to the feet, connects through the feet and draws back up. Keeping that openness through the heart space. Inhaling and exhaling. A couple more breaths here, allowing yourself to take note of the posture. Notice how you're feeling. When you feel ready, rolling over to whichever side is comfortable for you, before slowly making your way up to your knees. So coming over slowly onto our knees. Here we want to just have the cushions in front of us and come up into our tabletop. So from here we're going to slide down into our heart opener. But what we want to do first is just come through some cat-cows. So not to warm up the body, but just to release the back and the spine, helping for that movement as we draw down. So remember, as we inhale, drawing up, head and bottom draw up. As we exhale, rolling the chin to the chest, pushing into those shoulders. Coming back through. Allowing for that motion to connect with the breath. Remember, we're not warming up. We're bringing that movement to the spine, to loosen the spine. Excellent. One more time through. When you're ready, coming to tabletop. Just taking a little swing of the hips very slowly from side to side. Again, opening up, releasing those hips a little. And then coming back to tabletop. So for your heart opener, you may wish to take the knees out a little deeper. What we want to do here is we're not sinking back onto the heels into Balasana. We're sliding forward with our hands, with the bottom in the air, drawing the chin down to the floor. If you feel uncomfortable bringing the chin all the way down, you can prop with a cushion to bring the chin onto a cushion. Or if it's a little struggle for that movement through the neck, you can bring the forehead down. You're still getting that open heart, and we're not allowing the hips to come back onto the heels. We're keeping that open heart space, so it's much more open than a Balasana, a child's pose. Excellent, lovely, Keisha. Lovely, really bringing that. As I say, if you find that chin is uncomfortable drawing down to the floor, then do take a slightly different position if you need to. If you need to bring the forehead down to the floor, then do so. Closing the eyes, bringing that awareness into the body. So we want to release through the muscles in the back of the legs. We want to keep this kind of upright position through the bottom and the lower legs, through that skeletal positioning. So allowing those knees to come under the bottom just allows for the prop up rather than movement through the muscles. By releasing the lower part of the body, we then allow for this opening through the upper part of the body a little deeper. So keeping that bottom nice and high, allowing for this lovely stretch through the connective tissue down. If you need to support your arms, Lisa, then do so. If you don't want to stretch them out too far, just have them a little bit bent in if your arms are a bit sore from today. Excellent, prop as you need. So feeling that connection, again, through this open heart space. Again, we're drawing towards the floor, so we've got that grounding towards the floor, this melting heart as it melts towards the floor. We're also allowing for the openness through the front of the body. So we're taking the weight down onto the chin. And this is allowing for this openness through the throat, openness down through into the heart space. It's also allowing the arms to stay open, as you see, in a slightly different position from the previous posture. We're still keeping those openness through the heart and through the body, but coming into it from a different angle. Using the breath to really release, remembering that some postures will push you to your edge sooner than others. So allow for your body, your breath to really connect with the posture. If you're struggling, just allow the breath to guide you. Beautiful, excellent alignment. Remembering if you take a movement to come back into the posture and really release those muscles. Remembering we're looking to get that release through the muscles so we can open up that connective tissue. And here we're getting this lovely opening from the shoulder joint. So we're allowing this shoulder to open, both shoulders to open. Inhaling and exhaling. A couple more breaths here, really allowing for this posture to really open the heart space, melt away. And again, quite a vulnerable position, keeping this heart space open. So allowing for that acceptance of ourselves, acceptance of our body, acceptance of any slight movements or changes you need to make in a posture to suit you. As you exhale, slowly release forward, pushing through the legs, straightening the legs, and coming into Sphinx. On your elbows, allowing for the release of the back of the legs, so taking the feet to the outer corners of the mat. Here you want to provide a little tuck of the chin, so just bringing the gaze to the top of the mat or your fingertips. Allowing for the lower part of the body again to really release. So you want to allow the feet to release away to the side. You want the legs to really release any tension through the muscles, through the calf, through the knee, and through the thighs. By releasing and making the legs feel heavy, by allowing them to draw to the floor, you're also allowing for the draw of the hips to come down a little further into the floor. Excellent. Lovely, that's really nice. So again, make sure that those legs are out nice and wide, so you're not pushing any tension through those muscles. Excellent, Jackie, lovely. Closing the eyes, again, allowing this prop of the elbows to take that openness through the heart space. And by keeping this very slight tuck of the chin, you're allowing for this softness through the back of the neck. You don't want to be really bringing that neck up high, almost bringing it back through the head. So allowing for this slight softness through the chin, not closing off the throat space, but you will feel perhaps a little more closed than we did in the previous postures where we've opened up. Using that breath and also noticing with this slight change of movement through the neck and this slight change of constriction through the throat, perhaps you feel that you have to breathe a little deeper, a little harder to push that prana, that energy, that breath through the body. So really allowing for stillness in this posture, allowing for grounding again. We're grounding the hips, the bottom of the body down into the floor. Excellent. Using the breath, accepting that every asana, every posture is your yoga practice. Acceptance of yourself, acceptance of your practice. Inhaling, exhaling. And in this posture, it's really nice to not only take a check on those legs, making sure we're not tensing any muscles, particularly through the glutes and thighs, which are big, strong muscles. Releasing those, but also to take a check through the face. So it's really nice to soften through the forehead, through the nose and cheeks, releasing any tension that may be storing between the eyebrows, concentration, releasing that, but also any tension through the chin, through the jaw. So allowing for tension to release through the face. Again, taking away those burdens, that burden that you feel, perhaps it's something, perhaps it's a number of things, allowing for that to release. And as I've said, when we move the body around, often those tensions transfer to somewhere else in the body. Perhaps you've got stiffness in the shoulder, you make a movement and then it draws up towards the jaw. So it's really important to be aware of how the body is moving, even in a more still practice, and making sure that you release and do another check of the body to use the breath. So as we draw towards the end of this hold, if you want to come a little higher, pushing up off the elbows onto the hands, but again, releasing through the lower leg. So allowing those legs to really feel heavy. You don't want to tighten and clench the buttocks or the glute muscles, which is really tempting, really easy to do as you draw up high. So once you've drawn up, just have a little check, really release those legs, really release that tension through the muscle. Allowing for this lovely openness through the heart space again, using the breath. This lovely flexion through the spine, coming into movement through the spine. We've begun to waken the spine up through our cat-cow, through our slight hip movement. And now we're really allowing for that stretch through the spine to open up all the way through the front of the heart space. A couple more breaths here, pushing that body to its edge, using the breath. And then as you exhale, slowly releasing the torso down to the floor. Coming down, you can come with your forehead onto a cushion. As you draw down, just taking a moment to allow for that release through the lower back. Inhaling and exhaling. As you exhale, take the hands out to a T shape. And then you want to bend the right hand up to the right shoulder. So you're bending up to the right shoulder. The opposite hand, left hand, stays out behind you. Push up on that right hand to take the body over. So you're coming over to a bent leg. Now here is quite nice to grab a cushion just to rest the head on, because you're drawing it down. So often it then releases off the shoulder onto the floor and it's a bit too harsh on the neck. So you may want to draw a cushion. So the back foot comes over the body, just propping up on the bent leg. And we're drawing the body weight round onto that shoulder at the back. So you can prop with your fingertips at the front if you want to secure the posture. If you're feeling quite secure and you want to allow a little more weight to draw down on the shoulder, just release the front hand and draw it behind you slightly. It takes that slight roll towards the back, the body comes over a little deeper. If that's too much, then do replace the hand and you can draw perhaps a little deeper as we hold the pose. So just taking those checks that the neck's supported, allowing the openness of the hip, bent leg, but not encouraging any movement through the muscles. We're just opening up. So this openness through the heart space is drawing back onto the lower shoulder. So when you're in position, allow for the eyes to close. I'll come over just have a look. Excellent. Lovely. Really nice. Using that breath, allowing for the push of that weight to draw onto the lower shoulder. So here we're opening the heart space, but we're releasing those shoulders. And this also works, as I said, really well with that connection of that heart mudra down through the lines into the hands and fingertips. So by releasing tension through the shoulder, we're releasing and opening up that connection through the meridian lines. If we've got tension, whether it's physical or emotional, in any parts of our body, if we need to open up a meridian line, we have to apply pressure onto that meridian line to let those constrictions sort of open up and disappear away from the body. So here we're drawing the weight through, we're allowing for the openness through the heart, but also bringing the weight through onto that shoulder to release through. If it does get too much, if it's too strong on the shoulder, if you've got any impingements, then do roll a little bit further forward to take the full weight off. So just go with how the body feels, but really quite important to support the head if you need to, so you haven't then got an arching through the neck that's too harsh. Otherwise you're beginning to work muscles in the neck, possibly the side of the face. So by releasing the head onto the cushion, it just allows for a little more openness. Inhale and exhale. Holding here for a few more breaths. If it's too much, if you've got any impingements on the arms or shoulder, then do release. Otherwise, holding here for a few more breaths. Inhale and exhale. As you exhale, slowly bringing the back of the hand to the front, taking the body weight round to the front, allowing the leg to come back to its original place, releasing that shoulder, just taking a moment to feel that rebound of energy, pushing through that back arm, taking a couple of breaths, feeling that perhaps that side of the body, that arm, and maybe you can feel that connection down into the heart space. So we're going to come over to the opposite side. So bending the opposite hand up towards the shoulder, pushing up on that hand to take the body round to the back, allowing for the push up on the fingertips at the front to allow for this pressure to draw onto the back arm. The knee bends just to support and stop you from rolling all the way over and applying too much pressure. And as I say, if you want to keep the fingertips at the front, do so, or you can release them round to the back to allow the shoulder blades to draw together, bringing a little more openness to the heart space and a little more weight round onto that shoulder. Excellent. Yeah, Lisa, just take these as you need to if your arms are sore. Closing the eyes, allowing the support of the cushion to release any and relieve any tension in the neck, keeping that lovely grounding support. So really important when we take these movements through the spine as well, any twisting through the spine, that we do this with care. So we're coming through this twist, we're increasing that weight onto the shoulder, and one side may feel more open than the other, perhaps one side feels more tight. So use the breath again, take that connection that you have with your body, the knowledge that you have through your experience of yoga practice, and use the breath as it needs to be used to allow the body to open through the heart space, pushing through the prana, pushing through the chi, through the body, and allowing for the meridian lines to begin to open even more. Inhaling, exhaling completely. Remembering if you do take any slight movements, just to do another check through the body to release any tension. Release any muscles that are beginning to stimulate, which allows you to work deeper, allows you to stretch through the connective tissue. And holding these poses for a little longer allows that process to really relieve and open up that connective tissue, the ligaments, and allow those areas to become open and also stronger and more flexible over time. So if you have impingements on the shoulder, if you carry a lot of stress through your shoulders, this is a really nice self-massage, self-opener through those shoulder blades, a really nice one to remember. Sometimes those tinglings, if you get tingling through the neck or the shoulders that are beginning to get that feeling of tension arising, coming into one of these postures might really help to relieve that tension. But also noticing the difference between a tingling feeling that you're bringing to your body or that your body has brought to you, and that kind of sudden sharp pain. So if you get any sudden sharp pains, not just in this, but any of the postures, then do come out. Often it's a sign of a trapped nerve, and if we continue to trap nerves over time, they then become a little bit delicate. Using the breath, really releasing. Holding here for a few more breaths. Taking your body to its edge if it needs to draw back a little deeper. Using the open heart space. And as you exhale, release back with the fingertips to support. Slowly drawing the knee over the body. Inhaling and exhaling, holding down there for a moment, using the breath to really connect. This time as you exhale, draw the hands under the shoulders. Gently push the hips and bottom back onto the heels, and then tuck those hands behind you. Coming into your balasana, remembering you can support with a cushion under the forehead. You can allow the legs or knees to come out a little deeper away from you to allow for less constriction through the heart space and tummy. So using your breath, your judgment, and bringing those hands and tucking them behind near to the feet allows for this softness through the shoulders. So you're rolling those shoulders out to the side. Perfect, lovely, excellent, Liz. Inhaling and exhaling, again feeling that grounding through this posture. Again taking that notice, that difference between this balasana, this lovely grounding posture that opens up the shoulders by releasing them behind us. That difference between this and the melting heart posture that we did earlier. So this is much softer, it's softening through the shoulders, it's allowing for this openness of the shoulder blades as they roll round to the side of the body and the arms. It's allowing for this gentle movement, this gentle stretch through the back from the tip of the neck all the way down to the bottom of the spine. Bringing that constriction through the legs. Again, allowing for these energy lines, these meridian lines that push up from the legs, the kidneys, bladder, all of those areas to begin to stimulate. Using your breath to ground. Using your breath to move back to the Sankalpa, that acceptance. When I accept myself, I am freed of the burden of needing others to accept me. And making sure that we remember that our acceptance of ourselves is much more important than anyone else's acceptance of us. Inhaling, exhaling, releasing that burden, releasing that tension. Inhale, exhale. On the next exhale, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, gently pushing up into tabletop. This time just tucking the toes under and drawing the hips up and back to a soft downward facing dog. So if you can bend the knees a little, just beginning to bring a little bending in to allow for that openness to come back through the legs. So releasing that constriction that we had through our balasana. As you exhale, release those knees back down to the floor. Coming into tabletop again, releasing through the spine with some cat-cows. Excellent, nice and slowly. Keeping that lovely openness through the spine. This time we come to stillness in our tabletop, and we're going to come over onto our backs. So what we want to do is we draw onto our backs. We've got two options here. So we're going to come into our plough pose, where we can bring our backs to the floor and take our legs over. You can have some props behind you. I've got a couple of blocks. You could have a couple of books or some cushions to bring your feet onto. So you've got plough, which I'll show you just now. So bringing the cushion so that when you bring your head, you want your shoulders to be on the cushion, but your head to be off. And then you come up and bring your legs, your feet onto the props. You can push up on the back to get some space, and then allow the arms to come down to the side. So that's your plough pose. If you don't want to do plough pose, if you feel a bit headachy, a bit eye-y, something like that, you feel that might be a bit too much pressure, then you can come into that same position with the cushion, but come quite close to a wall. And you can push up off the wall to get that kind of incline onto those shoulders that you get in the plough pose. So I would come up with flat feet onto the wall. So you might have to come up quite close, almost. You can come up onto a sofa as well, if you've got a sofa there. Push up onto the chair or the sofa or the wall. So you've got this slight incline coming down onto the shoulders, and just allowing the hands to come to the side. You can prop underneath the back as well if you want to prop the bottom up a little higher. Otherwise, coming through into your plough. Excellent, well done. Really good. So you can put your feet on a prop. It could be, the feet could come onto the sofa even. So you might find that feet onto a chair as you draw over, draw round. It's always good to prop. Excellent, Keisha, well done. So when you feel comfortable, try to, excellent, pushing up on the lower back to straighten the spine, and then release the hands down to the side when you feel stable enough to do so. And then your hands will be there to support. Perfect, excellent, Lisa, lovely, Liz, really deep. Excellent, Jackie, keep going. Pushing up and propping with your hands to the lower back to help push you up. It's good, it's good. Inhale and exhale. Using that steadiness, that stability, that stillness. Try propping some more cushions under your shoulders maybe, Jackie, if that might help to get that kind of momentum over. Once you get that almost pushing point over, it will just support. Beautiful. So here we're releasing through the shoulders again, releasing those arms. We're bringing some constriction down into the heart space. So bringing that constriction is fine. It's helping to push and open that meridian line. We've come through some real open heart postures, and this is allowing for the push to really come through. If you're struggling, Jackie, you can just pop your feet onto the sofa, yeah, and then have that push up, so you're getting that push up. Lovely. Really push nice and high, perhaps propping some cushions underneath the lower back to support you. Excellent, well done. Really lovely. So use your breath. Your breath will be constricted here. We're constricting through heart space. We're constricting through the throat. Take yourself to your edge, but if you really need to come out, do come out. Listen to your body. Use your breath. Excellent. Lovely. Nice and slow when you come out. Holding here for a couple more moments if you're able. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly bring your hands to your lower back to support. Gradually bending the legs through, taking your back down to the floor. Excellent, that's lovely, nice and slow. Taking a moment with your back on the floor. Inhaling and exhaling, taking the time that you need to come out of this posture. Very strong posture. Opening up through the heart space. Now that we draw down flat to the floor. So we've brought constriction through the heart space, constriction through the throat. We've brought weight down onto the shoulders, again, bearing that weight down. We've also stimulated through that thyroid gland. So taking that moment to begin to allow the body to open up and settle. So coming from your flat back, allow the knees to come up to the chest into your folded position. Taking a moment, grounding into the back, feeling the weight of the legs drawing down onto the abdomen. As you exhale, straighten the right leg away from you, holding onto left. Bringing the opposite hand to the outside of the knee, taking that knee across the body. Hands come up into a T shape, looking over the back shoulder. If you want to increase the posture, bending the back foot towards the bottom, grabbing hold of it with the back arm. You can straighten out the front leg, grabbing hold of the toes with the front arm. Otherwise, keeping the legs bent, one leg or both. Bringing that lovely spinal twist, keeping that open heart space. Excellent, Keisha, that's beautiful. Lovely, Liz. Nice and open, bringing that twist through the spine, allowing for that health of the spine. Release through the body. Inhaling and exhaling. Remembering that stimulation of the heart meridian line not only runs down the arms, but also down through to the lower abdomen and up through to the face. So this is a really lovely opener, bringing some twist through the neck, through the lower body. Stimulating those lower internal organs as we bring that pressure through. And if you're holding on to the feet, front and back, allowing that weight of the hands to draw those feet down to really increase that stretch through. Really lovely. Again, taking that moment in this posture to accept yourself, to accept whichever position you are in, to accept and to thank your body for getting into the position and perhaps taking note of how much deeper you are able to hold your body in these positions that perhaps you first started in yoga. Again, that's a form of accepting yourself, accepting your body, and accepting your yoga practice. A couple more breaths here, taking your body to the edge. If you want to increase the stretch, you can straighten the legs if you haven't done so already, bringing the lower leg towards the bottom, straightening the front leg away from you. Inhale and exhale. On the next exhale, releasing the hold of the front leg, releasing the hold of the lower leg. Bringing both knees together to the side, engaging the core and drawing the knees back to center. Take a moment just to roll the lower back into the floor, to release the lower back and soften again through. As you exhale to release the left leg long, holding on to right. Opposite hand comes to the outside of the knee, taking that knee across the body, drawing the hands into a T shape, You can bring the lower leg back underneath, grabbing hold of it with the back arm and looking over the shoulder. And straightening that front leg and grabbing hold of the foot or ankle with the hand. Or keeping the legs bent. Looking back to draw those shoulders down to the floor to keep that heart space open, but also to increase that twist through the spine. Remembering that both sides are different, so you may find one side you can draw back a little deeper. Perfect, really good. Softening again through the face, allowing for that release through. Inhale and exhale to, again, take ourselves back to that acceptance. Acceptance that two sides of the body will feel different. Acceptance that we can allow ourselves to judge what is good for our body. I'm here to guide you through, but you know how your body feels. Opening through that heart space, so allowing those shoulders to really ground as close as they can, connect with the floor. Feeling that energy through those meridian lines, that chi flowing freely. And as it draws down to this constriction through the lower part of the abdomen, as we draw that hip over, allowing for stimulating through those other internal organs. Softening through stomach, gallbladder, kidney, allowing for those to release. Allowing for the chi from the heart meridian line to come strong through the arms, from the face to the heart, also to soften and open up all those other meridian lines through the body, stimulating and releasing. Inhale and exhale. If you feel you want to take the posture a little deeper, straightening out the front leg, holding onto the front foot, drawing the back leg behind, drawing those shoulders down towards the floor, taking that time just to make it a little deeper, and then allowing those muscles to release, allowing the hips to feel heavy as they draw over, allowing that lovely twist through the spine, again keeping that health of the spine. Allowing for any movement of tension through the body to release. As you exhale, slowly releasing the grip of the leg on the front, the grip of the leg behind as both legs draw up and over to folded. Again, just releasing through the lower back, allowing for the back to draw into the floor, self-massage. As you exhale, just releasing the feet to the floor. So we're coming back to where we started at the beginning of the class this evening. So just coming to get cushions, to come into your open heart pose, drawing them nice and tight into the body. Allowing the body to draw back, to release and open the shoulders. This time, take those hands a little higher above the head. Bring those feet together if you wish, or allow the legs to straighten away from you. Use that breath to release down into your posture. And as you soften into your posture, take that moment again to notice how the body feels. Use the breath to soften the body. Notice the feeling of openness from the heart space. Notice the feeling of openness through the hips. softness through the lower abdomen, through your spinal twists, softness to release those internal organs. Using that breath to open through the body from the heart down to the toes, from the toes back up to the heart, through the heart to the crown. Again, accepting yourself, your body, for its yoga practice this evening. And allowing yourself to review your practice, to notice the change, the difference, drawing back into this posture once again. Hopefully feeling a little more open, the heart feeling a little more stimulated, connective tissue opening, and body feeling a little more relaxed. Inhale and exhale. So I invite you to either stay here in this position if you wish, or releasing the props and drawing down into your Shavasana. Taking whichever posture you would prefer, getting yourself a blanket, cushion, something to support, something for you to feel warm and comfortable. Taking a few moments just to get comfortable. Perfect. So as you draw down into your Shavasana, allow those shoulders to release. Allow the palms to face upwards. Closing the eyes to soften through the face, from the forehead, softening through to the eyebrows. Inhale and exhale. Softening through to the nose. As you exhale to release tension from the cheeks, the temples, down through to the mouth and lips. The lips gently part and the tongue rests on the roof of the mouth. As you exhale to release tension through the jaw, softening through the throat, allowing the connection of the neck through to the back of the head as they connect into the floor. Again, feeling that grounding connection through the back of the body. As you exhale to release and open the heart space, perhaps feeling that warmth through from the heart meridian lines down through the shoulders, the arms, the wrists, and the hands. Inhale and exhale to open and release. As you exhale to soften down from the heart space through lungs, torso, releasing tension through the tummy, through the hips. As the hips open and release, feeling heavy through the spine, from top to lower, connecting with the floor. As you exhale to release from the hips, softening through the thigh, the knees, the shins, and lower legs. Inhale and exhale to release and soften through ankles, front and back, through heels, through front of the foot, the sole of the foot, and each and every toe. Inhale to accept yourself Inhale to accept your body. Inhale to accept your yoga practice. And as you draw in through your inhales that acceptance, as you exhale, releasing any tension and burden, keeping hold of the acceptance and releasing the burden of other people's acceptance of you. Remembering when you accept yourself, you are freed from the burden of needing others to accept. Allow yourself to be accepted by you and you only. Bringing your awareness back into your breath. Bringing your awareness back into your body, connected on the floor. Bringing a little movement to fingertips and to toes. Awakening your body from Shavasana. As you exhale, you may wish to take your hands above your head, coming into a full body stretch. As you exhale, draw your knees up to your chest, connecting through. When you feel ready, drawing over onto whichever side is comfortable for you. Taking a moment there just to draw within, allowing that connection through the body, the mind, and the breath. And before you make your way up to your seated position, take a moment and accept. Accept yourself. And when you feel ready, draw up into your Sukhasana. Allowing the palms to open towards the ceiling, back of the hands on the knee. Inhale and exhale. Bringing the palms together, this time in Anjali Mudra in the heart space. Remembering, when I accept myself, I am freed from the burden of needing others to accept me. We cannot reach our goal with words alone. Without practice, nothing can be achieved. Allowing yourself to achieve these goals through practice and through words as we come to acceptance. As we end our practice with our Namaste for this evening. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you feel well. Well done everyone, you did brilliantly. And I will see some of you tomorrow, and if you don't feel well enough, then rest, Lisa. And drink plenty of water, everyone. Have a lovely evening, and I'll see you soon. Thank you, bye.